very, very beautifully. May I know who all joined this morning?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all their assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yeshumati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Hare Krishna, welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, your voice is not coming.
Is it better now?
Yeah, now okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada. This is Preeti Vilasini Devidasi from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Sri Guru and Gauranga, and all glories to all assembled devotees. This is Shashidhar joining from Texas. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Shashidhar Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for joining every day and chanting so beautifully. Hari Bol, very grateful to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Okay. It's
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat.
Nobody want to introduce?
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, all glories to all the assembled devotees. This is Kirtida, Sundari, Dasi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kirtida Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nice to hear your sweet voice, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Sudevi, welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Balavrinda.
Hare Krishna Balavrinda, welcome to the
Hare
call.
Krishna Mataji, this is Balavrinda. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj.
Okay, Hare Krishna, welcome to the call. Yeah, very nice. Today she'll be the last day for our Mataji for mid-mornings because tomorrow onwards her school is going to start. She's not
Happy to have her, Mataji. Hi, Vrinda.
Yeah, she's not going to be there in mid-mornings from tomorrow. I'll start the recording if nobody wants to introduce. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Before we start the call, I wanted to read today's quote. Regarding the art of 16th August, regarding the art of management, constant changing is not good. Even if there is some fault in management, it is to be corrected, not changed. Beside that, Vaishnava philosophy is that everyone is addressed as Prabhu or Master. Everyone should consider himself the servant of the other. That will make management very nice. Letter to Gopal, August 16, 1974. Hari Bol, very beautiful quote for today. And Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your valuable time and association. Today, Mataji today's speaker is Kirtida Sundari Mataji. High Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji is going to enlighten us on the topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata Adi Khanda, 10th chapter, verses 84 through 114. A lot of verses Mataji is going to cover. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please take over the call, Mataji. We are eagerly waiting to hear from you. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, and Hare Krishna each and every one of you for joining, for giving your very, very kind and wonderful association. So today is a very, very auspicious day. Today we'll be seeing the marriage of our dear Nimai, our Gauda Sundar with Lakshmi Priya. So today is the auspicious day of marriage. So we all are invited. We are fortunate to be the part of that marriage. And today will mostly be the reading session, because the more we envision and more we meditate on that, the marriage, the more we will taste the verses today. So nothing philosophical today. It will be simply reading, but I really recommend that if we hear with rapt attention, then we will literally, be the part of that marriage, and we can visualize that marriage. So thank you all once again, everyone, for joining us. So let's start with our prayers. So let's all invoke auspiciousness by chanting the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gauri Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Anandalila Vigrahaya Hema Bhadivya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Ajanulambita Bhujau Kanakavadhatau Sankirtanai Kamalayatakshav Vishwambarau Dvijavarau Yugadharma Palau Vande Jagat Priyakarau Karunavatarau Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Jayati Jayati Kirti Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhritya Tasya Vishveshwamurtir Jayati Jayati Nityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam Mukam Karoti Vachalum Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripahatamham Vande Shri Guru Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So thank you all so much for joining on this auspicious day of the marriage of our dear Gaura Sundar with Mother Lakshmi Priya. So we are in Chaitanya Bhagavat. We are reading chapter number 10 and the verses 84 onwards. Prabhate uthiya prabhu kari snana dana pitragane pujilena kariya samana. So today the marriage day is there and everything is well arranged, pre-planned. The day of marriage finally came And our dear Nimai woke up early morning. He took bath, he gave charity, and respectfully worshipped his forefathers. So we'll just quickly do the recap that what all happened and from where it all started. I know we all are attending these sessions regularly, but it's always good to refresh our memory. So also I would like participation from all of you. Maybe you all can unmute and be the part of, what all we did right now. So as we all know that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, or our DNMI, who is also non-different from Krishna, they have, the certain ages have a certain leelas. So from 1 to 5 years is normally the Kumar age or the Balya Leela. And we read extensively what Nimai did in his Balya Leela. And then comes the Pauganda Leela, that is from 6 to 10 years. And is actually it's actually the Pauganda Leela. So we also read that how Nimai went to the school and all his different pastimes. Then comes from 11 to 15 is the Kaishora Leela. And after that is Yauvana, that is after 16. So now in Caitanya Bhagavat, it is explained that in 46th verse, Vrindavan Das Thakur says, Kichu matra dekhi e putrera yauvana, vivahare karaya mane chinte anakshana. So now it's been described that how Sachi Mata, when saw her son's first symptoms of maturity, she began, I'm sorry, this watch is disturbing, it's a lot of messages. So when Mother Sachi saw her son's first symptoms of maturity, she began to make plans for his marriage. So here Vrindavan Das Thakur is writing that Mahaprabhu has already reached his Yauvana age. So that confirms that he has completed his 15 years of his age, means even his Pauganda, Kaishora Leela, everything is over. But in Chaitanya Mangal, Lochandas Thakur describes that this entire marriage also happened at the age of Kaishora Leela, is one of the part of Kaishora Leela of Mahaprabhu, which also comes to the similar age that maybe Mahaprabhu is between 15 to 16 years of his age when he first got married to Lakshmi Priya. So on that day, what actually happened was, before that, when Mahaprabhu was at that age, Vanmali Acharya. Now somebody can unmute and say that who was Vanmali Acharya in Krishna Leela or in Ram Leela? Does anyone know?
And who took the message of Rukmani? Is that what?
Yes, very good. He was the Brahmana who took the letter of Rukmani Devi. And in Ramalila, he was Vishwamitra. He was Vishwamitra Muni who arranged the marriage of Lord Ram and Mother Sita. So this Vanmali Acharya, he finally came to Mother Sachi to propose the marriage of Mother Lakshmi Priya, whose father was Vallabha Acharya. Now this Vallabha Acharya is different from the Vallabha Acharya of the the Pushti Marg, the Acharya of the Pushti Marg. He's different. And we all know that the same Vallabhacharya also, he came to Mahaprabhu when he wrote the commentaries of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have read that in Antalila of Chaitanya Charitamrita. But this Vallabhacharya is different. He's the father of Mother Sachi. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Father of Lakshmi Priya. So he proposed, and this Vallabhacharya, anyone know who is he in Ramalila or in Krishna Leela? Vallabhacharya, who was he? See, I need some participation. Otherwise, you yourself will feel the class is very boring. Who was Vallabhacharya in Krishna Leela? You can make it out.
Hare Krishna, is it Rukmi? No, of course. Vidarbha, the king of the Vidarbha kingdom, what's his name?
Bhishmaka,
Bhishmaka, sorry.
the brother of Queen Rukmini. Yes, he was Bhishmaka and he was Janak Maharaj. So this way, Vallabhacharya, he was the mother of Lakshmi Priya. So Vanamali Acharya, he came to the house of Mother Shachi. And Mother Shachi very, very respectfully, she welcomed Vallabhacharya, she welcomed Vanamali Acharya. And as we all know that some guest, anyone who comes to our home, we should offer 3 things, right? What are the 3 things that we should offer when somebody comes to our home?
A seat, water, or something to drink, and a seat.
Yes.
And I forgot the 3rd thing.
Argyam,
That's the most important thing.
items of worship. Right?
Seat and water, I only remember.
So when somebody comes, yes, thank you, Manishri Mataji. When somebody comes, we should offer him a seat, a glass of water, and sweet words.
Oh, see.
Yeah,
Most important.
Most important is that we welcome them with the sweet words. And that's what Mother Shachi did. Mother Shachi very kindly, she welcomed Vanamali Acharya, and then finally Vanamali Acharya proposed this marriage ceremony, like that how Lakshmi Priya is so good, how she is such a saintly daughter, and she is the most fortunate girl in the entire 3 world, and she is so humble, and so she is the one good for your son for marriage proposal. But Mother Shachi was not happy hearing. She said that, my son, he doesn't have a father, because at that time, father has already left. So she said that let him study. I want him to study. So later we can discuss this. If I feel, then definitely, I'll come personally and I'll propose this. But right now, I don't feel like that my son will be happy taking up this responsibility at such an early age. Let him study. Vanamali Acharya was not happy hearing the words of Mother Sachi, but, in a very respectful way, he left. And on the way, he met Gaurachandra, our sweet Lord Nimai. He met Nimai, and Nimai asked him that you look so despondent, so disappointed. What happened? From where are you coming from? Then he told that he's coming from, his own house, and how he proposed the marriage, and then how Mother Sachi doesn't want right now. She wants that you should study. Then our Nimai just smiled, and he didn't say anything, and he just went. He came back home. He told Mother Sachi that what happened. Vanamali Acharya, I met him. He came and he proposed something, and you said no. And as soon as Mother Shachi heard this, she got a hint that Nimai is okay to get married to Lakshmi Priya. So she herself then called upon to Vanamali Acharya, and then Vanamali Acharya came, and then everything was finalized, arrangements were made, and finally, the whole thing was properly arranged. Vallabhacharya was informed, and Vallabhacharya also said that I'm just a poor Brahmana. I don't have anything much to give in dowry. So this message was also conveyed. So Vanamali Acharya, being the mediator, was running back and forth between the 2 parties, conveying the messages of each other. But finally, everything was arranged, and the day came when they both have to get married. So this is the just a recap. And of course, yesterday also we read about the Adivas ceremony. So this Adivas ceremony is actually the ceremony that is held a day before on any special occasion, So whether it may be the appearance day of Lord, or like Janmashtami is coming up. So naturally Janmashtami is on Friday, but Thursday will be the Adivas ceremony. And or Gaur Purnima comes, or even some Kirtan festivals goes on. So they all have the Adivas ceremony, means a day before the right auspicious occasion. That is the Adivas. So in this Adivas, why is it so important to you to participate or to do this Adivas ceremony? Is to get into the mood. That's the basic reason, is to get into the mood of the auspicious occasion that is to be held. Now, in India, we all have seen that, this marriage goes on for 4 or 5 days, and we also have that haldi rasam and that mehendi ki raat, all these things are there. So these are all the Adivas ceremonies, because the actual day of wedding and is supposed to happen, and then all the days before or one day before, especially one day before, is the Adivas ceremony. But there, in India, especially those who are non-Krishna conscious people, they celebrate with all those Bollywood songs, mundane songs. But this was not the case while performing this Adivas ceremony for the Lord's and Lakshmi Priya, Mother Lakshmi Priya's marriage. Proper brahmanas were invited, certain mantras were chanted, everybody dressed very, very opulently, because they want to get into the mood of that marriage. So this is the right way of doing the Adivas ceremony, especially for the marriage. The kirtans should go on, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra should go on. And we want to celebrate any of the kind of ritual, but it has to be assisted with all kind of chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the real meaning of Adivas ceremony. Even if the Kirtan festivals are there, one night before, everybody will chant Hare Krishna because they want to get into the mood of the right Kirtan festival. So this happened, and finally the day came, as we read today, that Prabhu te uthaya Prabhu kari snana dana. So our dear Nimai, he woke up, he took bath, and he gave charity, and he respectfully worshipped his forefathers. Text 85. Nritya Gita Vadya Maha Uthila Mangala Chatur Dikhe Leha Deha Suni Kolahala. Auspicious sounds of singing, dancing, and musical instruments filled the atmosphere. Everywhere, excited people were calling out, "Take this, take that, give this, give that." Okay, I'm so sorry. I haven't shared my verse, right? So let me share the book so that it will be easy for all of you. 1 minute. Okay, this is not the thing. Hey, come on. I don't know what's happened.
What happened, Mataji?
I'm not able to share the screen of
No,
Chaitanya.
it came, Mataji. It came and it went. It was there. It was there.
No, I just want the entire one, not the...
Can you open the document again, document or whatever it is?
See, this is not coming. This is different. Anyway, you all can open your books. I don't know why I'm not able to share. 1 minute. Huh?
I'll try to screen it, Mataji.
Just 1 minute. Okay, anyways, let's not waste our time. So you all have the book, or you can open online, and then we can go ahead with it. So auspicious sounds of singing, dancing, and musical instruments filled the atmosphere. Everywhere, excited people were calling out, "Take this and take that." So we all know that how it all happens in the marriage ceremony. Everything is in a chaos. Everybody is busy doing something or the other. And they just, it just goes on that everybody that doesn't know like whom they're talking to, what are they doing, and everything is in a hassle bustle. And that was that exactly what happened. They were calling out, hey, take this, give me that, take this, that. And this was going on and on. Why? Because everybody was so excited. Everybody was dancing in their internally also and dancing externally also. Why? Because the actual marriage day is there. Katava Mailila Ashi Pativat Vrata Gana Kate Keva Isha Mitra Brahmana Sajana. Many chaste women, well-wishers, friends, and respected Brahmanas, they graced the function. So all the Brahmanas came and they graced the entire function, because nothing was possible without the presence of Brahmanas. So in all the four directions, the Brahmanas, they chanted the Vedas, conchs, mridangas were sounding, and everything was marked with, the right auspiciousness, marked with auspiciousness. Everything was decorated. So I'll be going back and forth from Chaitanya Bhagavat as well as Chaitanya Mangal by Lochan Das Thakur. So in Chaitanya Mangal, there is a very huge description of this entire marriage is being mentioned. It's in a very extensively it has been mentioned. So I thought that it will be a good thing that we just read from Chaitanya Mangal also what Lochan Das Thakur wants to say. And of course, we'll be reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Khai kala sindura tambula taila diya stri ganere tushile na harshahaya. Mother Shachi happily satisfied the ladies with puffed rice, bananas, vermilion, betel, and oil. So these are all the auspicious things that Mother Sachi gave to all the ladies who were present there. And what was that? It was puffed rice, some bananas, vermilion, that is kumkum or sindur, betel, and of course some oil. Devagana deva vadugana nara rupe prabhura vivahe ashi achena kutuke. Demigods and other wives took the form of humans and also happily attended the Lord's marriage. So this is what happened when the Supreme Lord's activities goes on, then all the demigods with their entourage, with their own wives, they all take part. Remember that how when Nimai was born, at that time also all the demigods, Vrindavan Das Thakur describes that all the demigods along with their wives, they also came and they came to seek blessings from Mother Shachi and take darshan of baby Nimai. So same here, in this way also, when the marriage was going on, then all the demigods along with their wives, they also came, took the form of a human form, and they also participated in that marriage. And it's been explained that how beautifully Lochan Das Thakur, he explains that all the Brahmanas, I don't know why everybody calls during the class time. Anyway, sorry. So, the Brahmanas, how they were greeted, they were given sandalwood paste, flower garlands, and everything was so well arranged. All the demigods came, and everybody was looking at Nimai. And Lochan Das Thakur describes that their eyes were like the doe's eyes. They were walking like elephants' graceful steps, and it looks like that the beauty of Nimai has defeated the beauty of Kamadev. So how beautiful Nimai was looking. Vallabhacharya e mata vedhi krame kari lena devi pitra karya harshamane. Vallabhacharya joyfully worshipped the demigods and forefathers according to Vedic injunctions. Now this Adivas ceremony also happened at the house of Vallabhacharya, where Mother Lakshmi Priya was there. And Vallabhacharya also greeted all the Brahmanas, and some demigods also went there to witness how Mother Lakshmi Priya was looking and how the arrangements are being made on the other side. So at the home of bride and at the home of bridegroom, so the festivities was going on and everybody participated. There were fragrant scents, garlands, sandalwood paste was exchanged. So this way, the Adivas ceremony at the home of Vallabhacharya also took place very nicely. And he also worshipped the demigods. He also worshipped the forefathers, and as per the Vedic injunctions. So it was all something very spiritual that happened, nothing like the mundane songs or some Bollywood songs that we play these days. That was not the mood, because the mood was to enter into that real pastime, the real marriage of Lakshmi Priya and our dear Nimai. तबे प्रभु शुभ क्षणे गोधूली समाए यात्रा करी आइले ना मिश्रालय. So finally at the evening, Godhuli time. Godhuli is when all the cows, when they come back after Krishna, when he grazed the cows in the evening, when they come back, so the dust that raised because of the hoofs of the cows, so what happens, the entire atmosphere is filled with the dust, with the vrajraj. So that is the Godhuli time. It is said the Godhuli time, in the evening time actually. So it is said the Godhuli time, at the dusk. Then what happened? The Lord, our Supreme Lord Nimai, he finally arrived at the home of Vallabha Acharya. So in this regard, I'll read it in detail, that what actually happened at the house of Mother Shachi before Nimai went to the house of Vallabhacharya. So what they did, they decorated Nimai. They decorated Nimai, they decorated his hairs. They provide all the, people in the house of Mother Shachi. They gave the beautiful ornaments and garments to Nimai. There were wonderful, powerful sages who were there, who were chanting different mantras. And with sweet words, they chanted the Lord Gauranga's glories. And of course, his limb defeated the beauty of Kamadev. Waves of pearls decorated the garments, pearls like host of stars fallen to the earth with the reddish sunrise. So see the beauty, see the poetic language that Lochandas Thakur uses. And then their face, all their faces, the people who were in the house of Mother Shachi, their faces lit up like the moon in the night. And their sweet voices, all the girls, they sing glories of Lord Gaura's pastimes. Some wore glorious silk garments, some other wore garments of yellow as they walked and they fanned Lord Gauranga's glorious limbs. Placing Mother Shachi in front, they all walked behind her. Then they waited for Lord Gaura. They tried to get close to him. And on the pretext of offering him some fragrances, some sandalwood, some flower garlands, they were trying to touch the limbs of Gaura Sundar. And finally, carefully placing the betel nuts and camphor in Lord Gaura's hand, they all, tried to touch Lord Gaura. And finally, with the huge procession, with the entire mridangas and other, instruments, they all, proceeded to the house of Vallabhacharya. Let's move forward. So Tabhe Prabhu Shana, Shubha Laksha Shane, that Shubha Shana, that auspicious moment came at Godhuli time in the evening, where Yatra Kari Ailena Mishrera Alai, that they did the entire yatra, they proceeded, at the house of Vallabha Acharya. Prabhu Ashelina Matra Mrishta Groshti Sane Ananda Sagare Magna Haila Savamane. As soon as the Lord arrived at the house of Vallabhacharya and his associates drowned in the ocean of bliss. Ananda Sagare Magna. So this is the word that Vrindavan Das Thakur uses, that everybody was drowned in the ocean of bliss. And as soon as they came, they arrived in the house of Vallabhacharya. So who was drowned in the ocean of bliss? It's not only from those who have come with Mother Sachi, but those who were there at the house of Vallabhacharya. Everybody was drowned in an ocean of bliss, because this is the auspicious moment. Okay, I'll just read from what all happened. Okay, let me just go through text 92. Sambhrame ashana diya yatha vidhi rupe jamatare vaishahila parama katuke. Sambhrame asana diya. So what Vallabhacharya did, he offered a seat. He offered seat and he welcomed everybody. And Jamatare, his Jamai Raja, means his son-in-law, he offered a very respectable seat. And Paramakautuke, and still everything was going on as per the Vedic injunctions. The Brahmanas were chanting the mantras continuously to bring all kind of auspiciousness. Definitely, it's Lord's marriage. So what extra auspiciousness we need? But just to set up an example, just to set up the mood, that how we should also follow in the footsteps. So it's been explained that at every activity, the Vedic mantras were chanted by the qualified Brahmanas. So I'll just read again that what all happened when Vallabhacharya greeted Lord Gaura. So it's been explained that Vallabhacharya greeted him with Padya and Arghya. Padya and Arghya mean with some flowers and water. He escorted him into the house and offered auspicious blessings to him. And then Lord Mahaprabhu, he stood on a platform under a canopy. So there was a canopy on which there was a raised platform on which Gaura Mahaprabhu was invited by Vallabhacharya and was offered the seat. He was looking very effulgent and joyful. His face defeated the full moon, and his sweet smile was filled with nectar. His limbs glistened like molten gold, and his tall body was like Mount Sumeru. On his arms and hands were jewel armlets, bracelets, and rings. The palms of his hands were glorious like red lotus flower. A celestial garland of jasmine flowers swung on his fair limbs, and it was like waves of the Ganga cascading down Mount Sumeru. So see how poetic Lochan Das Thakur has described. A splendid crown touched his forehead. Gazing at him, 10 millions, koti of Kamadevs are overcome with embarrassment because the beauty of Lord Gaurasundar defeated the beauty of Kamadev. Earrings were swinging on his ears. To what can I compare them? They cast far away other desire that may remain in the hearts of proud women. As Lord Mahaprabhu stood under the canopy, the married ladies performed the ritual of welcoming the bridegroom. So now our bridegroom is at the home of Vallabhacharya. So the women from the Vallabhacharya side, they now are welcoming our Nimai, and they also wore wonderful ornaments and glorious garments. So everybody was decorated. Everybody was in a very, very opulent dressing. The married ladies were in the front. Behind them was the bride's mother. That is the mother of Mother Lakshmi Priya. In this way, the glorious ladies performed the ritual of welcoming the bridegroom. Bearing 7 lamps in their hands, they circumambulated him 7 times. With happy hearts, they washed his feet, the feet of Lord Gaura, with yogurt. And in this way, they performed the ceremony of welcoming the bridegroom. Then the auspicious moment of dusk arrived. And what happened at that time? Text 93. Shesha sarve alankare kariya bhushita Lakshmi kanya analina prabhura samipa. Then Vallabhacharya, he commanded, he told everybody that his beautifully decorated daughter should be brought before the Lord. So what happened then? Vallabhacharya commanded that his daughter should be brought at once. So once the bridegroom was seated, was very nicely welcomed, and at that time, Vallabhacharya commanded that now Lakshmi Priya should be brought at once. The beautiful girl then sat on a glorious throne. So what happened? Hari dhvani sarva loke lagila karite tuli nena sabha Lakshmi priye prithvi haite. Everyone began to chant the names of Hari as they lifted Lakshmi Devi on the ground. So what actually happened is, then when Vallabhacharya, he told that now Lakshmi Priya should be brought. I'm sorry. At that time, Lochan Das Thakur very beautifully, he describes that how the beautiful girl, when she came, Lakshmi Priya, when she came, of course, at that time also, everybody was chanting some auspicious mantras, and she came and she sat on a glorious throne. And she was not near to Nimai at that time. There was a separate throne just in front of Nimai on which she was seated. The splendor of her limbs also filled all the earth with light. On her four sides, jewel lamps were there. Her face defeated the splendid full moon. She was so beautiful. Her every limb was glorious with ornaments of jewels and gold. Her effulgence cast the darkness far away. And then what happened? In Bengali, that's the tradition. So we all know in India, there are various traditions for, depend upon what state you belong to. But in Bengal, this tradition is there that as soon as the marriage happens, the girl is seated in front of the boy. They both face each other. But there is a cloth in between both of them, a kind of a curtain. They don't see each other. And then what happened? The girl is lifted, like Vrindavan Das Thakur is describing. Hari dhvani sarva loke lagila karite, tuli lena sabhe Lakshmi pire prithvi haite. They just picked up Lakshmi. They lifted Lakshmi Priya off the ground. So then Lakshmi Priya, what happened? She was allowed to circumambulate Nimai. So the curtain is there, they have not seen each other, and Lakshmi Priya was lifted. So Tabhe Lakshmi Pradikshana Kari Saptabar. So what Lakshmi Priya did? She did Pradikshana of Gaurasundar, of our Nimai, Saptabar, 7 times. Yode haste rahi lena kare namaskar. So the Lakshmi Priya was carried by a few people, and around Nimai, she circumambulated 7 times. And as the 7 circumambulations were over, then Lakshmi Priya was placed before Nimai, and there she offered her, her obeisances to Nimai with folded hands. So this way she offered her obeisances. So like Lochan Das Thakur describes that, how 7 times after she circumambulated her master, folding her hands and bowing her head, she offered her obeisances to him. And then what happened? Then a curtain was drawn around them. So the curtain was there, but now the curtain was removed. And then what happened? 2 of them gazed at each other. Now the eyes are meeting, they're both eyes. Now just see, officially, Vishambhar was meeting, our dear Nimai was meeting Lakshmi Priya for the first time. But Vrindavan Das Thakur describes his Purva Rag also. We have already gone through, so I didn't touch upon that how Vishambhar, he met at the banks of river Ganges. He met Lakshmi Priya, and there also their eyes gazed at each other. And in their heart to heart, they understood that, Nimai understood that she would be my would-be wife, and Lakshmi Priya understood that Nimai is my only master. So the Purva Rag thing has already happened, but now officially, as the curtain was drawn in front of the curtain that was there, it was drawn, and both of them were looking at each other. Their eyes met and they gazed at each other. Lochan Das Thakur describes that they were looking like Chandra and Rohini. They are meeting together. With their glances, their eyes were dancing, and with their glances, they shot arrows of flowers at each other. They were like Shiva and Parvati who's meeting together. And in this ritual, first meeting behind a curtain, they both trembled, overcome with bliss. In the four directions were great sounds of Jai, Jai, Hari, Hari, and everybody started dancing. Then it is said that Lord Vishwambar, who is Lord Narayan, who is the goddess of fortune, he sat down, and the bride was also there in front of him, who was also allowed to sit down. Their face bowed in shyness. Her face was bowed with shyness as she sat in front of him. And then what happened? Vrindavan Das Thakur describes, Divya Mala Diya Lakshmi Prabhu Racharane Namaskar. No, before that, I'm sorry, 96. Tabe Sheshe Haila Pushpa Mala Pheli Pheli Lakshmi Narayana Dohe Mahakutahali. They both finally exchanged the flower garland. So now their curtain is no more. Their eyes have met each other. They were offered the flower garlands, and Lakshmi Priya offered that flower garland to the original Narayan, and even Nimai offered the flower garland to Lakshmi. So they exchanged the flower garlands. Pushpa Mala Pheli Pheli. That's how Vrindavan Das Thakur describes. Divya Mala Diya Lakshmi Prabhu Racharane Namaskari Kari Lena Atma Samarpane. So after the exchange of the garlands, that is Jai Mala, then Lakshmi Devi offered the flower garlands at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And while she was offering the flower garlands, she was offering herself at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord with full surrender, with Atma Samarpane. This is the mood what a bride should have while garlanding the bridegroom, that she now fully surrendered to her master, to her husband. Sarvadike Maha Jaya Jaya Hari Dhwani Uthila Paramananda Ara Nahi Shuni. All that could be heard was only the ecstatic sound of Jai Jai, all glories, all glories, all glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Hari. He namate Shri Mukhe Chandrika Kari Rase Vasilena Prabhu Lakshmi Kari Vama Pase. And in this way, they performed the ceremony of seeing each other's face officially for the first time. And then the Lord sat down, and Lakshmi Priya was also allowed to sit next to the Lord. So now, because the marriage ceremony has happened, she has circumambulated the Lord, she has offered the flower garland, she has accepted the flower garland, and then she has done the surrenderance, the Atma Samarpana, by offering the flower garland at the lotus feet of Nimai. So the marriage ceremony was over, and now she was allowed to sit on the Vamya Bhag, like the left side of Nimai. So the women, they are allowed to sit only on the left-hand side. So it has been explained that you always keep your master onto the right. That's how the tradition is. So the wife always sit on the left side of the husband, because husband is the master. So the wife always put the master, the controller, the master on the right side. So that's how, like, even if we see the Panchatattva deities, we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the center. Now Mahaprabhu on his right keeps Nityananda, because Nityananda is elder to Nimai. And then is the Advaita Acharya. So these are all Prabhus, which Mahaprabhu always keep them on his right side. And on his left hand side is the Shakti Tattva, that is Gadadhar Pandit, and then we have Shiva's Thakur. So this is how we learn that always our masters, our seniors should be on our right. So now Lakshmi Priya also was allowed to sit on the left side of Nimai. That means the Nimai was on her right-hand side. And as she sat beside him, naturally her face bowed down with shyness. And then Vallabhacharya worshipped his son-in-law, and everything again was in a very, very auspicious mood. Again, Vrindavan Das Thakur writes, Prathama Vashaya Prabhu Jini Namadana Vama Pashe Lakshmi Vasalina Sekshana. The Lord's fresh, youthful beauty defeated that of Cupid as Lakshmi Devi sat on his left, at his left side. की शोभा की सुखा से हैला मिश्रा घरे कौन जाने ताहा वर्णी भरे शक्ति धारे. Who has the ability to describe that wonderful scene and the happiness that was experienced at the house of Vallabha Mishra? Because now Vallabha Mishra, he is there now. He is doing the Kanyadan, officially giving his daughter to Nimai. So Vrindavan Das Thakur is describing now who has the capacity to describe this, what was going in the heart of Vallabhacharya, what was going in the heart of Mother Lakshmi Priya, what was going in the heart of Nimai, who has the capability to describe everything. This wonderful scene is beyond any description, And to this, Lochan Das Thakur describes, I'll just read out, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose lotus feet the demigod Brahma worshipped with argya, that is water, by whose mercy Brahma initiated the power to create the material universe, from whose feet the Ganga flows to the earth and gives liberation to all, whose 3 steps traverse the universe, to whom Maharaj Bali completely surrendered, the dust of whose lotus feet Maharaj Bali placed on his own head, by chanting the glories of whose feet a certain great yogi became a demigod Shiva, whose feet the goddess of fortune joyfully serves, whose plenary expansion, Amsha Avatara of Lord Vishnu, whose plenary expansion, Adi Varaha, rescued the earth, whose avatars like Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, Vamana, Parshuram, Ramachandra, Buddha, Vyasa, and others are described in the 18 Puranas, whose 10 avatars are glorified with many songs, who yuga after yuga descends to the material world for paritranaya sadhunam, to deliver the conditioned souls and to protect his devotees, and whose glories cannot be completely described by anyone in these 3 worlds, have now officially became the son-in-law of Vallabhacharya. So, like, to me, it really sounds such great that Supreme Personality of Godhead is now the son-in-law of Vallabhacharya. So, Tabha Sheshe Vallabha Karite Kanyadan Vashilena Yehena Bhishamaka Vidyaman. So, this Vallabhacharya, who is non-different from Bhishmaka in the Krishna Leela, he finally gave his daughter as a dan, as a charity to Nimai. So this final auspicious thing of giving Kanyadan, officially giving one's daughter to a bridegroom, is what is known as Kanyadan. And this moment was very nicely performed by Vallabhacharya. So Vrindavan Das Thakur describes that how he did songs that glorify Lord Gauranga, floods of nectar. And as Vallabhacharya, he offered argya at the lotus feet of Lord Gaura. He gave him a royal throne to King Indra, Vallabhacharya also offered a Brahmana seat. The Supreme Lord to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is arrayed in celestial yellow garments, Vallabhacharya offered him a simple cloth. Because remember how Vallabhacharya said to Vanamali Acharya that I really have nothing. I'm such a poor Brahmana. I have nothing to give in charity or in dowry. I have nothing to give in dowry. So here Lochandas Thakur describes that same Supreme Lord who is decorated, who is arrayed in the celestial yellow garments, was offered a simple cloth by Vallabha Acharya. Beginning with the yajna, the rituals were performed one after the another. And at the end, everything was complete. No one is fortunate like Vallabhacharya. He gave his daughter to the master of Vaikuntha. How can I describe Vallabhacharya's great good fortune? In his home, the Supreme Personality of Godhead enjoyed a feast of the 5 kinds of delicious food. Alone together in a private room, the bride and groom, they enjoyed their feast. And in that room, eventually, hundreds and hundreds of saintly ladies gathered. So this is how Lochandas Thakur describes. But let's go to our Chaitanya Bhagavat 105. Yatha vidhi rupe kanya kari samarpana anand sagare magna haila brahmana. After duly offering his daughter to the Lord, the Brahmana, that is a Vallabhacharya, he became absorbed in the ocean of bliss. And again, Ananda Sagare Magna, that was his condition. Tabayata kichu kala kula vyavare ache pativrata ganataha karile na pache. Thereafter, all the chaste women, they performed the various traditional family rituals. Sei ratri tathaya thaki tabe aradene nija grihe chalene na prabhu Lakshmi sane. And that night, as Vrindavan Thakur is explaining, that night the Lord stayed at the house of Vallabhacharya, and next day he returned home with Lakshmi Devi. So when he was there at that night, they were together allowed to sit in a private room, and they were offered some food to eat. The bride and the groom, they enjoyed their feast, and then eventually all the ladies, they come inside the room and they gathered and they giggled, they laughed. Groups after groups of young ladies stayed at the Lord's sides, and they were in front and they were also behind. They completely surrounded Lord Vishambara. Seeing the smiling face, moon-like face of Lord, these girls, they felt that the entire darkness has gone, and even their shyness flee away from that. In that wedding meeting, one girl spoke playful poems, and overcome by Lord Gaura's glories, everybody started joking and laughing. One girl said, "Oh, listen, oh Vishambara, give these betel nuts to Lakshmi Priya just as she is about to sleep." Another lady said, "Personally place them in her mouth. Now all her friends may look at her with happy hearts." Another girl said, "Who is fortunate like Lakshmi Priya? She has Vishambara as her husband." We don't know what austerities did she perform, what vows did she follow, what charity did she give, how did she worship all the Devi Devtas, how did she struggle to attain that spiritual knowledge, how was she saintly and chaste that now on this earth she may gaze at Vishambara's handsome form. Vishambara's handsome face defeats even the Kamadev. He is the thief that has stolen the jewel heart of the proudest and the most glorious girl, Lakshmi Devi. His strong arms defeat Kamadev's staff. Filled with longings, his beautiful bride rests on his chest. Lakshmi Priya will enjoy glorious pastimes on his every limb. But when will I be able to even touch him? So this was the mood of all the girls who were sitting. And one girl thought, "My desire is that someday I will become the maidservant of Gauranga and Lakshmi Priya. Then I will serve my Lord Gaura Chandra." So this was the entire night, how it was being passed. Now, let's go to our Vrindavan Das Thakur's Chaitanya Bhagavat. So the night was passed, and Nija Grihe Chalina Prabhu Lakshmi Sane. And the next day, the Lord decided to go with Lakshmi Priya to his home, back home. Lakshmi Rasahita Prabhu Chadiya Dolaye Ashena Dekhite Saka Lokadhai. As the Lord and Lakshmi Priya were carried home in a palanquin, people just came out of their house to see them. So now both of them were carried in a palanquin back to Mother Sachi's home. Gandhamalya Alankara Mukuta Chandana Kajavale Ujavala Dui Lakshmi Narayana. Both Lakshmi and the original Narayan were wonderfully decorated with sandalwood paste, flower garlands, ornaments, crowns, and bright kajal. Sarvaloke dekhi matra dhanya dhanya bole vishesha stri gana ati padili na hole. Everyone who saw them exclaimed, whosoever saw this beautiful couple, they all exclaimed, how wonderful. And all the ladies were all particularly amazed. Katakala e bhagyavati hari gauri nish kapate se vilena kata bhakti kari. Some girls said, oh, they resemble exactly like Shiva and Parvati. They must have worshipped the Lord without duplicity for a long time. Alpa bhagya kanyera ki hena swami mile, ei hari gauri hena bhuji ke hakole. Can a less fortunate girl possibly get such a nice husband? So this is again a question that they are asking, but the answer is no. I conclude, she said, that they are non-different from Shiva and Parvati, because a less fortunate girl cannot get Vishambhar as her husband. Keha bole Indra Shachi Rati Vamadana Kona Nari bole ei Lakshmi Narayana. Some girls said, oh, no. They don't resemble like Shiva and Parvati. They resemble like Indra and Sachi. Sachi is the wife of Indra. Someone said, no, they resemble like Madana, Cupid, Kamadev, and his wife Rati. One girl said, no, you cannot compare. They are Sakshat Lakshmi Narayan. They are Lakshmi and Narayan. Kona nari gana bole yena Sita Rama dola pari sobi yache ati anupama. Another girl said, seeing the unparalleled beauty of both of them, to me it appears that they are Sita and Rama, who are seated nicely on the palanquin. Ei mata nana rupe boli nari gane shubha drishte sava dekhi Lakshmi Narayani. In this way, the girls spoke in various ways as they joyfully watched Lakshmi and the original Narayana. Hena mate nritya gita vadya kola hale nija grehe prabhu ai lena sandhya kale. Now, finally, the couple, they arrived at Nimai's house in the evening, and there were festively everybody greeted by dancing, by singing and playing musical instruments. Tabe sachi deva vipra patani ganahlaiya putra vadhu ghare anila harsha haila. Now Sachi Devi with other Brahmana ladies then jubilantly welcomed her daughter-in-law. Putra vadhu now finally is at home. Dvija adiyata jati nata bhajaniya sabare tu shila dhana vastra vakya diya. Thereafter, Mother Sachi, she satisfied the Brahmanas, musicians and dancers with money, cloth and sweet words. So, what happened that now Lochan Das Thakur is describing in detail that what actually happened at the home of Mother Sachi. So on the day after the wedding, the Lord performed his natural, his ritual, he offered a great feast to the Brahmanas, and he performed his Brahminical duties of chanting Gayatri and worshipping. All this he did on that day, and on the following day he returned to his home. The narration is spoken in this way: with a happy heart, Lord Gauranga returned to his home, where he worshipped his kinsmen with offerings of gold and silver. Lord Gaura sat. Lakshmi Priya also sat by his side on the same seat. The ladies surrounded them on four sides. This is how the Putra Vadhu was nicely welcomed. And Lakshmi Priya, she said, now I'll say something more. Sachi Mata said, oh Vishambra, tears were flowing from her eyes. Like Mother Sachi's eyes, tears were flowing because she was missing her husband. And taking Lakshmi Priya's hand in the hand of, she placed it in the hands of Lord Vishambara, and she said that Lakshmi Priya, please take care of him now. From today onwards, she is the queen. She is not your maid servant. She is the queen. So from now onwards, take care of her. So this is how Mother Shachi also, she was also so blissful of greeting her daughter-in-law. So this is not the ordinary life that we see, that mother-in-law and daughter-in-law fighting. But see the mood of Mother Sachi, that Mother Sachi is also nicely welcoming her daughter-in-law and telling Gaura to always take care of this daughter-in-law of Lakshmi Priya. And then she gave them gifts, and then she said, may you both live long. She kissed her son's face and drank in the sight of her new daughter-in-law. Then she kissed her daughter-in-law's face and gazed at her son. Sachi's home was filled with bliss, and in this way Lochandas sings the song glorifying Lord Gaura. And now the last verse of today. Our Vrindavan Das Thakur is giving the Falashruti. Now all of you have heard this entire pastime of Lord Gaura's marriage to Mother Lakshmi Priya. Now he's saying, Ye shune prabhura vivaha punya katha, tahare samsara bandha nahaya sarvatha. Whosoever hears these auspicious topics of the Lord's marriage is never entangled in worldly life. Now all of you are so blessed to hear this entire pastime, to witness this entire pastime of Lord Gaura with Mother Lakshmi Priya. That Vrindavan Das Thakur is giving the benediction that whosoever hears these auspicious topics of this marriage will never get entangled in worldly life. Yes, this material world is a perverted reflection, we all know. When we hear the Rasa Panchadhyaya, the Rasa pastime, those 5 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam that describes the Rasa Leela of Krishna with gopis, at the worldly minded, it is something which is not accepted, but this is spiritual. This is spiritual. So definitely it has a perverted reflection. This material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So there Sukadev Goswami says that whosoever hears this rasa pastimes of Lord with the gopis, all the lust that is there in our heart, it just goes away. So similarly, this marriage, this bonding in this material world is andhakupam. It's been described, right? It's andhakupam that you get attached to each other. So naturally it brings the entanglement in the worldly life. But now hearing the topics of the marriage of Vishnu, of Lakshmi Priya with our Nimai is actually spiritual, right? So Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying those who will hear these topics, their entanglement in worldly life will be destroyed. So all of you are so fortunate to witness, to see this wonderful auspicious marriage of Lakshmi Priya with Nimai. So with that, we will end here. And then in detail, we'll see what actually happened in the house of Mother Shachi. So tomorrow onwards, we'll continue with that. So thank you all so much for patiently being on the call, hearing it. I was just back and forth reading from Chaitanya Mangal and of course Chaitanya Bhagavat. So thank you all so much. Lakshmi Priya and Gaura Chandra, their marriage auspiciousness, their marriage ki jai, Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Lochan Das Thakur ki jai, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mangal ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, and all the assembled devotees ki jai.
Our great Kirtida Sundari Mataji ki jai.
Jai.
What an amazing session, Mataji. Thank you so much. It was so meditative, so beautifully done. When you were describing about how the associates of Lakshmi Priya and Nimai were talking to them, it felt to us like you were also one of them, because you were so involved in the narration, and your expressions and your involvement really took us to that exact location where we could really visualize the marriage. I was waiting for this class, and I'm so happy you got to cover this entire section at a shot. And thanks for also doing the verses before this, because that helped me understand the entire flow, and I was missing out for a while. So thank you so much for that. And I'm so grateful to you for covering this entire section with the Parashruti. Everything was so nice, so nicely done, Mataji. Thank you so much. Very, very meditative. Marriage ceremony, though we've never had the opportunity to be a part of the Lord's marriage, at least in our minds and through our years, we were able to catch a glimpse of this experience. So thank you so much. Thank you for this wonderful seva that you did. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Preeti Vilasni Mataji. Actually, I should thank you to giving me this opportunity, because past 2 days I was just reading these wonderful pastimes from both the books, that how beautifully they both have, mentioned in their books respective.
I was thinking, thank you, because we got double dhamaka, we got a double treat to hear from Lochan Das Thakur as well, and that's what was running in my mind. I was like, what if, we just did the marriage from Chaitanya Bhagavat, maybe we would have missed out some special notes from Lochan Das Thakur's Mangal. So thank you so much for covering that, Mataji. Thank you. Very grateful.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Can you hear me? I'm on my earheads.
Yes, Manishri Mataji.
I have been missing you guys for so many days. I've been always on either at the end or at the beginning of the classes, and I have been here from the beginning today. So thank you so much. That was so, so sweet. And I particularly like 2 points. How you explain, not you, but actually Lochan Das Thakur was explaining how Mother Sachi was saying, she is your Lakshmi, take care of her. So please know, and also, but then the other side, when she said, since he's the Prabhu, he's on the right side. So this mood of respecting each other, the balance there. And it's not one or the other. It's not one who's better than or more than the other, but it's just this equalness that's shown by the Lord in his own example. So I very much appreciated. And I always remember, my husband always says, remember, because whenever you're standing, they always say, which side is the wife supposed to be on? There's always this question, right? And my husband says, just remember, she's on the left where the heart is. So thank you so much. Very, very sweet. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Panishwari Mataji, for your inputs. They're really valuable.
Even I always used to get confused when puja or something, I get wrong side standing, and then Pujari used to say, don't forget that you are heart of your husband. You're supposed to stand or sit left side, not the right side. Yes, when you are describing about left and right, I was remembering that. Very beautiful, beautiful class, Mataji, as everybody is saying that we could remember our own marriages, and at the same time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's and Lakshmi Priya. So it's very, very, very nice narration, Mataji. Thank you so much for beautiful, beautiful narration. As Mataji said that we we were not there at that time, but by your narration, we could feel that we are seeing that. And also every time Sita Ram Kalyanam happens, right? So, when you see that in the temples, you feel that you are really seeing the ceremony. I was remembering that also, how in the temple they do, and they narrate everything. They tell that, now Mala Dharana is going to happen, and then they play the ball and everything they do literally like for Sita and Ram, and it is so nice. And I could visualize all those things when you are telling, Mataji. Thank you so much. As if like it's like happening in the temple. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. But I was simply reading from, so our glories to Vrindavan Das Thakur and Lochan Das Thakur, who have literally described extensively this marriage. I've missed a lot of points in between. I was just reading the main things, but Lochan Das Thakur has very nicely described. So I really request everyone, if possible, we have this book online, so you all can go through. We don't have the Sanskrit. We have only just the English, not Sanskrit, the Bengali version, but just the English. But we can go through, and it's so blissful. It's so wonderful.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, do they describe about that game that they play, the ball game that they show for Sita and Rama, especially they will show that. And that is there in our tradition also. Is that there anything like that?
Maybe later it must have mentioned, but I don't know like what happened at Mother Sachi's home. But till now it was
happens on Mandapa only, Mataji. On
Oh,
Mandapa
that
only.
not described. That is not described.
That is not okay, Mataji.
On a lighter note, I was thinking as you were talking about how Mother Shachi, she told her son, now, here is Lakshmi Devi, you should take care of her nicely, like a queen, right? So I think that's what she says. So on a lighter note, I was thinking in today's world, it's more like the wife is told, now here is your husband, take care of him like a child. So that's the reality of today, right? So, contrast.
Yeah, because everything going so.
Today's world is just the opposite, You don't see that real love, and also it's all artificial.
And I was also thinking of the other thing, which is very strange. Only I think probably as far as I know, only the Sri Vaishnavas have the husband on the right. And husband on the left.
Oh, then we don't know.
That's the only custom I've seen where the husband goes to left. So very strange, yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna ji, Kirtida Sundari Mata ji, Jai Ho, Jai Jai Nityananda, Jai Jai Gauranga. माता जी, हम तो ये क्वालिफाइड नहीं है कि ये सब लीला में एंटर हो पाए, पर आप में इतनी प्योरिटी है कि आप हम धाम में लेके गए. एंड व्हाट द मूड ऑफ वल्लभाचार्य.
कुछ में नहीं है, वो प्योरिटी आपके सुनने में है.
नहीं माता जी, 0.0% भी नहीं है. तो माता जी इतना अच्छा लगा. तो व्हाट्स द मूड ऑफ दैट श्री वल्लभाचार्य और अपनी बेटी को जब दे रहे थे सिनिवाई को, तो क्या मूड था. सब लोग साथ में मिलके फिर बिटल पान दे रहे थे एंड गपशप कर रहे थे. एंड जो सब विधि हो रही थी बीच में वो था, वो पर्दा रखते थे. माता जी वो मतलब जब हम मंदिर में देखते हैं ये सब श्री राधा गोपीनाथ में, तो आप वहां लेके गए माता जी. श्री नित्यानंद श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय. जय जय नित्यानंद, जय जय गौरांग. थैंक यू सो मच माता जी. कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम टू योर सिंसियर सेवा माता जी. डे बाय डे माता जी एक रस निकलता जा रहा है आपकी कृष्ण कथा से. ऐसे सब तो बस अब सुनते ही जाए और सुनते जाए और सुनते जाए और सुनते जाए.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your association.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, and all glories to you, Mataji. Such a wonderful, sweet. I was not at all thinking of my marriage. I was thinking of Lord's marriage, because nothing is great about my marriage. But it was so sweet because it is Bengali, so I could relate the rituals, how they cover and then lift on the PD, it is called, a little higher platform. And the brothers usually will carry the...
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, and if the girl is heavy, you know, and the brothers will be cursing the sister, why do you eat so much? Nah, it is very sweet, this very sweet. And thank you for bringing in Caitanya Mangal. And thank you so much, Mataji. We'll try to read it. But will you please share the link in the group, Mataji?
Sure, I will, surely.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. And once again, you filled our heart with so much joy and nectar. Thank you, Mataji. Very grateful. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna, is there anybody having any more questions and realizations? Yeah, and Mataji, I was thinking that there are most of the things that right now what in tradition, our Hindu marriages are happening is like mostly the same, right? When you are describing, it's going the same, but then the mantra recitation and involvement, that is not there, I guess, right, Mataji? It's more about taking pictures, getting ready, just finish it. Okay, this is out. Okay. Just you first everything you put it, that's it, done. Next step. Yeah, it is all. But then everything is going in that way. I don't know after next generation what will happen, but at least we could enjoy at least the same pattern. We don't know what will happen to the next generations, but the mood should be there. At least by hearing this katha, we will get that kind of mood.
Yes.
At least when we are giving our daughter, we know what is the mood to be.
What's the mood? Yes.
Done.
A basic hearing of the subject matter. We can imbibe at least something.
Yeah.
Practically we do.
And when attending also somebody's marriage, it's not just like that we attend in a mood. What is exactly that happening? We know now. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. It's very nice. If you know the Vedas and meaning of what you are doing, you will be more involved. It's not just like a ritual that we are doing it. It's nice, Mataji, to know many things like this. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody having any more questions? There are a lot of chat comments.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Go ahead.
Dandavat pranams. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Mataji. Dandavat pranams to all the devotees. Mataji, it was very nice narration. So I wanted to ask one question, Mataji. Like in Hindi, like when we were in school, we were having some comparisons, like few kavis, right? They will compare everything with nature or something like that. Like when something is happening. So is the poet here, he's describing something like that, or means whenever I listen to these things, right, Mataji, I'll get that feeling like what I heard in when we were in school with the Hindi kavitas and all. Like there will be whatever incident is happening, they'll compare with something like when a sound is coming, they'll compare it is coming like the buzzing of a bumblebee, or it is coming. So such descriptions, like is this also is carrying such description, like what you told the Caitanya Mangal, or it's like a normal simple description?
No, Mataji, Lochan Das Thakur is getting really poetic. It's the poetic way, while when we compare to everything, to the nature, to the moon, to the buzzing of the bees, to the flowers, blooming of the flowers, the waves in the ocean, these are the different metaphors, similes that we use to describe incident. Yeah, it's the poetic way of explaining. So entire Chaitanya Mangal is actually in a form of a song.
Okay.
That has to be sung in a particular rag.
Okay.
Yeah. So therefore, there the Lochan Das Thakur is getting so poetic and describing everything in a poetic language.
Okay. Yeah, sure, Mataji. Yeah, just I was just remembering like those things, like everywhere, like mostly in Hindi or Bengali, everywhere, like I always whatever I listen, they compare the existing thing with something occurring in the nature, and they will explain it very beautifully. Like their creativity, they increase the beauty of that particular scene and everything with their words, comparing with nature or something related to nature. So that's why I was just checking, like whether it was in that mode or it was just like description.
It was a description, but in a poetic way.
Okay. Yeah, sure, Mataji.
But of course in a poetic way. And this poetic way is not something mundane, that if a mundane call the mundane kavi, the mundane poet, when he explains the mundane beauty and compares it with nature, it's still on the mundane platform. But here the Supreme Lord, his descriptions have been described.
Yeah. Sure, Mataji. Yeah, thank you. That was like my question, Mataji. Most of the things, like even like before in the Chaitanya Bhagavat only, or I think in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we got such things like when we were when some incidents come with Radharani, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, remembers those pastimes, he'll go into that remembrance of pastimes of Krishna and Radha. There we get such descriptions.
Yes, Mataji, we do get, because see, oh, I'm so sorry. Actually, what happens is that we are confined. Our material senses are confined to this material world only. So the poet naturally gives the examples of the beauty of this material world, so that we can, get an idea. Like suppose Krishna's color is being described as Megha Shamavar, like the freshly formed monsoon cloud. Now, freshly formed monsoon cloud looks very, very beautiful, right? But does the color of Krishna matches? Nowhere. Nowhere.
Yeah.
Color of Krishna is beyond that, but it is compared so that we can have an idea of color. Like Krishna's feet, lotus is compared with the lotus flower. Now, lotus flower is the best possible beauty that can be seen in this world. So everything is compared with the lotus, like lotus eyes, lotus feet, lotus hands, But this is just so that we conditioned souls can have a glimpse. But it's not that Krishna's eyes are like lotus flowers. Somehow it's the other way. The lotus flower is, getting a glimpse or an idea from a Krishna's eyes. So it's just so that we can have an idea that the poet uses some things from this material world. But it's actually the other way around. It's beyond, their beauty is beyond everything from this material world.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Yeah, that makes sense. And thanks for giving clarity on that, Mataji. And thanks for beautiful narration, Mataji.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, is there any more questions for Mataji?
Okay. Yes, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, you can take over.
There are some comments if you want to.
Yeah, I can read that.
Mataji, I've already read. Thank you everyone for your kind words. I don't deserve all these words, but really grateful to all of you for all of your kind association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you once again, Mataji, for such a beautiful, beautiful class. Very grateful to you. And we look forward for your association again and again. I would like to offer my obeisances to you and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhu bhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnava Koti Vaishnava Vrindi ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Sundari
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Dandavat pranam to all. Thank you so much.
Priti Vilasni Mataji.
Yeah.
So you're closing, right, Mataji? Priti Mataji?